Good morning, children. Welcome to today's class. We have already completed 4 of the chapters. We are now coming to 5th chapter, Understanding Elementary Shapes. Shapes, already we have studied different kind of shapes in primary classes also. In 5th class, we have studied different kind of shapes like square, rectangle, triangle, circle. All these shapes you have understood. Now, here we are going to start line or line segment. How to measure? Measuring means measurement. Means through the scale or ruler, whatever you are saying it. Like suppose this is a ruler. Using this, how you are measuring the line or line segment. Line actually it is having both side arrows. You cannot measure the line segment. But line segment you can measure through this ruler. But there are different ways. Like measuring line segments. Line segments is having two end points. Means like suppose A to B or B to C. Like that you can measure. So different ways are there. Simply by observation. By observation means just by seeing. Just by seeing you can say, okay, this part is equal to this part. Just by seeing through your eyes. Then by tracing. By tracing. One line you are drawing and below that you are keeping trace paper and below that another paper is there. So that is called as by tracing. You can get just the similar or equal line segment, that is second method by tracing. Then third method by using ruler and a divider. Ruler everyone knows, this is the ruler. But divider. Generally the people through what you are drawing the circle, you are calling that as divider. It is not actually a divider. It is actually a rounder, or we actually call, in the language of mathematics, we call it compass. And the divider is what? Which is having two end points, in which both the pin points are there. That is actually called as a divider. So, using ruler and a divider, the actual method of measuring the line segment is there. Now, how we are measuring using a ruler and a divider? First, we will draw a line segment using a ruler, then opening that two end points of the pin point of that divider, keeping the one end point at the one first starting point and just stretching that and keeping the next pin point at the last end point. So, in that way you will get the exact measurement of the line segment. So, these are the different measures of measuring the line segments. Now, starting exercise 5.1, questions are given in your textbooks. I have written only the answers here. The first question is, what is the disadvantage of in comparing line segments by mere observation? By mere observation means just by looking, just by seeing. What are the disadvantages? If just by seeing, mere looking, only by looking if you are measuring the line segment, what will be the disadvantage? If you are looking at through one angle, the measurement will be different. If you are looking with a different angle, the measurement will be different. If you are looking from the upside, the measurement will be different. Means the difference of the points will be here and there. So that is the disadvantage of mere looking or mere observation. So chances of errors due to improper viewing. Improper viewing means through the different angles of viewing, means of your eyes. Means like this is the line segment, suppose. This is the line segment. If I am seeing through this angle, the measurement will be different. If I am seeing through this angle, measurement will be different. If I am viewing through this angle, measurement will be different. So, chances are there of different improper viewing. That is more. That is the disadvantage. Then, second question. Why is it better to use a divider than a ruler? Ruler and divider is one measuring instrument. So, why is it better to use a divider than a ruler while measuring the length of a line segment? Through the ruler, if you are drawing line segment. In the previous question only I told, just by mere looking or angle of eyes, the points can be here and there, so that can be the disadvantage. So the divider measurement will be accurate, means points will be accurate on the point only, so it will be better using a divider. So accurate measurement will be possible using the divider. So accurate measurement you will get using a divider. So that is the correct answer. Then next question. Draw any line segment. Say AB. Suppose we are drawing A to B. Line segment AB. Take any point C lying in between A. That point C is in between A. Anywhere in between A. AB. Measure the lengths of AB and BC and AC. A to B and A to C. And B to C also you are measuring. Then it is asked whether AB is equals to AC plus CB. AB to CB. This is AC, this is CB. It is asked in the question whether this AB, A to B, initial point to the final point, is it equal to AC plus CB? Now we will find here how. A to C plus C to B. If you are measuring A to C, in that if you are including C to B, this is the first point, this is the second point, this is the third point. The first to second and second to third. If both these you are adding, the complete line segment you will get. So yes, because C is in between AB. So A to C and B to C. These two combinedly gives you AB. So yes, it is possible and it is the correct because C is in between A and B. Now the fourth question. If A, B, C are 3 points on a line such that AB is equals to 5 cm, BC is equals to 3 cm and AC is equals to 8 cm. AB is equal to 5 cm, BC is equals to 3 cm and AC is equals to 8 cm. Which one of them lies between the other two? 3 alphabets are there, A, B and C. So which one of them will lie at the middle of the other two? So sum of which two will give you the third one? 5 plus 3 will give you 8. So that is AB plus BC will give you AC. AB plus BC will give you AC. That means A to B and B to C will give you AC. A to B, B to C will give you complete AC. That means B is lying in between AB, AC. So B is coming in between A and C. This is the answer. B lies between A and C. This is A, C and B is coming in between. How we got that? The sum of 2 will give you the third. 5 plus 3 is equals to 8. That is AB plus BC is equals to AC. AB plus BC is equals to AC. A, B and BC. That is B is coming in between. So B lies between A and C. So this is completed. Fifth one. Verify whether D is the midpoint of AG. One line is given there. Different points are given and different alphabets are marked. A to G. And markings of the numbers is also given 1, 0 to 7. Verify whether D is the midpoint of AG. This is the point A and this is the point G. First we are taking AD because D is asked now. D is the midpoint. So up to D we will take. A to D. This is the one unit, second unit and third unit. So A to D we are getting 3 units. And D to G we are getting again 1, 2, 3. 3 gaps we are getting, that is 3 units. So A to D is 3 units and D to G is also 3 units, means these two are equal. So yes, D is the midpoint of AG because these two are getting equal and D is coming common in both. So D is the midpoint of AG. Is this clear? A to D. D is asked. A to D we will count. 3 gaps are coming, that is 3 units. And D to G again 3 gaps, that is 3 units. So D is coming common in both. So D is the midpoint of AG. Sixth question. If B is the midpoint of AC and C is the midpoint of BD. If B is the midpoint of AC, you will get B in between. Suppose B is the midpoint of AC. So for roughly if I am drawing A, C and B will come in between. B is the midpoint of AC. So AB plus BC or BC will give you AC or complete because it is the midpoint, center point. So AB is equals to AC also. And C is the midpoint of BD. So BC is equals to CD because C is coming in the center. And AB is equals to BC and BC is equals to CD. BC and BC is coming 2 times. AB is equals to BC and this BC again equal to CD. So remove this BC because it is coming in both. So AB is equals to CD. This is asked in the question. Say why AB is equals to CD. Because AB is equals to BC and BC is equals to CD. Therefore, AB is also equal to CD. And the question is asked to draw the straight line and to mark all these alphabets on the line. This line we have drawn and drawn these alphabets, the segments. A, C in between B and B, D in between C. In this way, you will have to draw the line and the marking of different alphabets. This completes your question number 6. Question 7. Draw 5 triangles. 5 of the triangles you have to draw and measure their sides. Check in every case, in each case, if the sum of the lengths of any 2 sides is always less than the third side or greater than the third side. I have drawn here 7 of the triangles, not written any measurement. You can measure that. I have not written any measurement. You can measure that and write if it is possible. If not possible also, just by mere measurement also you can see. If you are adding this side and this side, definitely this third side will be less. If you are adding these 2 sides, this third side will be less. If you are adding these 2 sides, this third side will be less. If you are adding these 2, third side will be less. If you are adding these 2, third side will be less. Definitely the sum of 2 sides will always be greater and the third side will be always smaller. So the sum of the lengths of any 2 sides of a triangle can never be less. It will always be greater. It can never be less than the length of the third side. It will always be the greater than the third side. Sum of 2 sides will always be greater than the third side. It can never be less. With the measurement also you can check or by mere observation also you can tell that. So this completes solution 7. So here we have completed exercise 5.1. So we have completed exercise 5.1. Now the next topic, angles. This angles topic we have already studied in the previous chapter. Angles. Angles where 2 rays are joined with the initial point. Means like this. Initial point of the ray. 2 rays will be going and their initial point will be common. That is forming an angle. This type angle we have already studied in the previous chapter. This is called as an angle, which is having one common end point and it is 2 rays are going. This is called as angle. Now, you have already studied in social, north, east, south, west, and everyone know how the clock marking is there. top, bottom, left, right. So 12, 6, and this side 3, and this side 9. In between marking everyone can do. Now up from this 12 to 3, let us first see this one. Here it is forming one right angle. Protractor everyone know? Everyone is having that compass box. That is not just for showing. Geometrical box what you are keeping, it is not just for showing. It is having some geometrical things that is to use, and it is actually used from class 6th onwards. So one protector is there. What you are calling it as chanda in Hindi, and you are just playing with that. It is actually called as protector, and it is used to measure the angles. So in that you can see 90 degree. So when you are keeping the base at this line and the center line, when you are going and measuring, you will get here 90 degree. So north to east, it is the 90 degree angle. And when you go from north to west, again it is one more 90 degree. So 90 plus 90, total 180 degree. So 90 degree is called right angle. And 180 degree is called straight angle. So this north to east is 90 degree, north to west is one more 90 degree, east to south or south to east is one more 90 degree, and this is also 90 degree. This total will give you 270 degree, and this completely gives you 360 degree. So complete angle is 360 degree. 360 degree is the complete angle. Now, when you are coming to this clock, these 3 units, 1, 2 and 3. 3 units, you will get 90 degree, right angle. So like this 3 units when you are going to count, 90 degree will come there. Now, let us start the exercise. Here you have to just count the number of units or the angle name or the how much angle it will create. That we have to write here. What fraction of a clockwise revolution does the hour end of a clock turn through when it goes from 3 to 9? 3 to 9. First you should understand what is clockwise and what is anti-clockwise. Clockwise means how the clock hand, hour hand or minute hand, it goes. Will it go 12 to 11, 11 to 10 like that? It is never possible. 12 to 11 it is not going. It is going 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. This is called as clockwise. This is called as clockwise. And the reverse order will be anti-clockwise. If it will go like this, it will be anti-clockwise. So clock is never going anti-clockwise. It will always go clockwise only. So in this question it is asked, what fraction of a clockwise revolution does the hour hand of a clock turn through when it goes from 3 to 9? 3 to 9 when it is going. So 3 to 9, how much it is going? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 units it is going. Means 3 to 6 it is forming 90 degree. And again 6 to 9 it is forming one more 90 degree. So 3 to 9 it is creating 180 degree. So 180 degree angle it is forming. What fraction of a clockwise revolution? 180 degree it is creating. Then 4 to 7. Where is 4? Here. And 7 here. How many units? 1, 2, 3. Already I have told you 3 units. 1, 2, 3. 3 units is forming 90 degree angle. So here coming 3 units, that is 90 degree angle it is forming. Then 7 to 10. 7, 1, 2, 3. It is 1, 2, 3. 3 units covering. So 90 degree angle here also it is creating. Then 12 to 9. 12 to 9. This is 3 unit, 3 unit and again 3 unit. So 90, 90 and 190. 9 3s are 27. So 270 degree it is forming. Then 1 to 10. 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 to 10. 9 units means 3 times 9. Again 270 degree. 6 to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again 3 times 9, that is 270 degree. Here actually degree we have written correctly. But what is asked? What fraction? Total how many fractions are there? If you are, this is 12, this is 6, this is 3 and this is 9. If you are marking it, this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So it is total 4 blocks are there. So here you have to write down how many blocks it is covering. So 180 degree it is correct, but fraction it is asked. So 3 to 9, 3 to 9. So 1 block and 2 block. So total, for writing in your copy I am telling, this is for explanation, it is correct. For explanation I have given you the correct explanation. But for writing in your copy, what you are going to actually write in your copy, you have to write in this way. Total how many blocks it is covered? 3 units and 3 units. Total 2 blocks out of 4 blocks. That is 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 fraction to cover from 3 to 9. This is fraction. Total 2 out of 4, that is 1 by 2. And if degree is asked, that is, this is third 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 units. That is 6 into 2 times of 90. That is 180 degree. Three units will give you 1, like here 1, 2. 1 unit, 2 unit and 3 unit. 3 units will give you 1 fraction. 4 to 7. 1, 2, 3. Only 3 units. That is fraction. How much fraction it will give you? 1 fraction out of total 4. You cannot cancel it. So 1 by 4 only. And degree how much? Total 90 degree. Here 7 to 10. How much fraction? Here is 7. 1, 2, 3. 3 fraction. 3 means 1 out of 4. You cannot cancel it. And degree how much? 90 degree. 12 to 9. For 3 blocks, you have to take 1 fraction. 12 to 9. 1 block, 2 block and 3 block. Total 3 blocks out of 4. Total 3 out of total 4. 3 by 4 cannot cancel. So it will remain like that only. And degree how much? 3 times 90 degree. That is 270 degree. 1 to 10. Here is 1 going up to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Means 3 times it is going. 3 fractions. Out of total 4. 3 out of total 4. And degree how much? 3 times 90. that is 270 degree. Six to 3. Here is 6 going up to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Means 3 blocks it is covering out of total 4. Cannot cancel. It will remain like that only. And degree how much? 3 times 90. That is 270 degree. So this is clear. This is fraction of a clockwise revolution of a hour end in a clock. Next hour end of the clock, we will see that in the next class. So practice this much at home and keep your notes complete. Complete up to here, otherwise it will be a heap of work. So continue completing this. Thank you for today's class.